All right, y'all about to get the master class, right, on how I write comics. Look at my cat in the back. So, when it comes to comics, the way I do them is very my way. I've come to learn and experience, and everyone has a different way of writing their comics and stuff. Everyone has different styles of writing. Everyone's gonna have their own way of creating and writing their comics. I only do what what works for best for me. I'm not gonna tell you how to write. I'm just gonna share how I do it, and if it helps you, cool. If not, sorry. So when I do writing, I usually just write at work on my 30-minute lunch break. Um, I fast at work, so from like 8:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. the next day, I don't eat. But because I work in a very focused environment, it helps me write on my lunch break. This is how I write, all right? Yes, it's that simple. Shitty journal, cheapo journal. I have the date. That's my personal autism, right? I put the date that I started it, this journal. I put what's in it. So I have MR05. That means Metal Red, Chapter 5. This, don't worry about that. And I put stickers because I don't know. I never have anywhere to put stickers. So I decided to put them on my journals because you just put them on the front. Um, Another thing before we start, just so that if you don't watch to the end, there's other books. There's an American written book about writing comics. This is Manga in Theory and Practice by Hirohiko Araki. If you know that name, then this is not a light book, bro. This is imagine like this is the guy who did JoJo. He pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Not everything, right? Not everything, but he tells you how what he knows, and this shit is very helpful. This really does make you think about stuff. So I definitely recommend getting it. As you can see, I have tabs. I have my bookmark. He has a lot of good notes from writing to the art itself to I don't know. He just has like a lot of good stuff, development notes and stuff like that. So I'm gonna break it down into one, two, three, four, five things. Well, when it comes to writing, it's more like four, right? This is how I have it. I have in order how I write chapterly, how I write chapter comics by chapters. So there are for me, my process in order goes the chapter, the main plot points, right? The chapter outline, a script along with the thumbnails, and then that's pretty much all the writing. After that, I just focus on the art. I just focus on the art. So the main plot points. That's step one. I have a Google Doc. It's on my Patreon if you want it. There, I have everything written out in pretty good detail. Um, I hate writing, so I really honed my own craft when it comes to my writing style and how I get for what's up here onto a paper. For me, writing's always been my weak point. I've always tried to write something that was inauthentic because of a lack of my own experience, life experience. Um, but as you grow up and you experience life and stuff, you gain a lot of things to draw from. for me, a big thing that I draw from to write on Metal Red is my mom passing away. And another thing that I like to think about when I write is my having my child, my first child. There's a lot of things here and there, but if you don't really sit down and get your thoughts on a piece of paper, that's it's not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna be as honest as that. If you think you're gonna do comics and you're not willing to put your thoughts on paper and not just draw, that's if you're trying to draw and write your own stuff. You're not gonna do anything. Sorry. The art can be as wonderful as JoJo or Mobius or what's another good one. You get the point, right? Takeshi Obata, for example, he's an amazing artist. But if the story's not there, no one's gonna care. No one's gonna care. Uh, take like Mob Psycho for example. The art is not the best, but it's purely drawn by one, right? The author, and it's written by one, right? The author. And then you look out. I mean, Mob Psycho is a hit. It's it's one of the most popular ones to this day, to present day, right? And then you look at One Punch Man, written right, written by one, the author, and he draws it, right, the web comic, and then Yusuke Murata, the guy who worked on some of the OG Mega Man games, took it upon himself to reach out to one, and he decided to redraw it for him, right? And that's one of the biggest ones. One Punch Man, everyone knows One Punch Man, right? But regardless, my point is, if there's no story, there's no. The art can be as amazing as you want, but if there's no story, there's no grab. So let's get into this before I keep rambling. Main plot points. So I'm not gonna show you my Google Doc. That's on my Patreon. Check it out. Let's see. All right, I draw my shitty journal, and when it comes to like for the main plot points, I call it plot points. I literally just write down whatever, like little notes, pretty much a list of what I want to happen in that chapter. Pretty much, yeah, just write everything I want to happen in the chapter. Um, Not in order. You can just blurt out ideas, but you gotta write it out. So, for example, this is Metal Red Chapter 5. These are the main plot points at the top. Oh, man, focus sucks. You get it, right? You get it. Right up here. Just a list of things I want to see in that chapter. And then I move on to the outline. And this is where I organize the thoughts of organize the main points that I had, right? And I kind of take them and I kind of organize them. How do you say? Um, Consecutively, right? I organize them by what happens first, and next throughout the chapter, and I just make notes of how to like, well, this happens, and then this happens, so this happens, then this happens, but then this happens, right? I kind of just link it all together to make it nice and it flow very very nicely. There's a good video of the guys. I can't remember the name, but the South Park creators, they have a little short video talking about writing, and they never say like, and then this happens. It's always either this happens but this happens, or this happens. uh I forget what it is. It's not, and then it's I forget, but it's a very interesting way to make your writing organic and not forced or just messy and nasty. Because I'm guilty of that too. And there's another thing that this book talks about called Kisho Tenketsu, which is a very Japanese story structure, right? In the West, you have beginning, middle, end, right? Rising action, falling action, all that stuff. I suck at that, but the Japanese have this really simple and effective way of understanding story structures called Kisho Tenketsu. Ki is the introduction. Sho is building upon what you introduced. Ten is the twist. The twist. Grab his dick and twist it. And the Ketsu is the conclusion, the resolution, whatever you, the resolution pretty much. I use that a lot when my writing, and it helps me a ton. It's a very, I don't know, just it makes more sense to me. So, well, as an example, I have right here, you see outline, and then I kind of all the stuff that I have up here, I just kind of restructured it and build upon it so that it like makes a decent like actual chapter story. Okay. And then the script. That is the meat and potatoes, man. When it comes to script, this is what I do. I'll have oh shit. I keep bumping the mic. I have the thumbnail off to the side with the page number. And then all this is like dialogue and action. So at first I have a lot of trouble. I noticed, especially with this chapter, this new journal, because it's a new journal, I noticed that I really struggle to do the thumbnail first and then add what's going on. But I noticed that it's a lot smoother when I write dialogue and action first, and then I kind of work the thumbnail around it. So the script, um, you know, dialogue, sound effects, notes, uh, characters, man, characters. To have well developed characters, this is where this book comes into play, dog, homie, my G. Get this book, bro, please. This book. Um, the main key thing I take away when it comes to Hirohiko Araki's notes on characters, dialogue, character development, it's very interesting. He says to just let the protagonist act, right? What he means by this is you gotta think if this was actually happening to you and you were the if you were the protagonist and the things in your story were actually happening to you, how would you naturally legit react, right? So I take that and I dress that onto all of my characters, and I kind of let the characters react. A lot of it comes up on the spot, but you have you have an outline in your head. You have an idea of where you want your story to go, right? And you kind of take it there, but you let the characters kind of guide you through it, right? As the writer, as the author, you let your characters guide you, because if you force your characters, then this kind of draws back to the South Park creator thing. Um, your character your characters guide the story. The story doesn't guide the characters. Read that book; it helps. I'm terrible. I'm explaining this terribly, but I'm not trying to get into super detail here. Okay, and then yeah, there's gonna be a lot of thumbnails and pages that you hate and you're gonna scratch out. For example, this whole page is scratched out. I got some dialogue up here, scratched out, scratched out. See my other journals, man. This is the cleanest one by far. So, but yeah, you take your ideas, you put them chronologically, and then you kind of work your script, your dialogue, your action, your characters. That's where the most work comes in. I find other than the art itself. And finally, thumbnails. Thumbnails is it's not really much to think about. You're mainly just thinking about composition and guiding the reader's eye, right? It's literally just scribbles on here, right? But I do scribbles because since I don't really have my drawing tablet in front of me at my job, I can't really scribble them there. If I could, I would. But this is also cool. This helps me. Everyone has their own writing style. It's that's more when you start trying to make it make sense visually and guide a reader's eye and all that stuff. So, and then after that, it's the art. Yeah. But yeah, that's my writing style. That's how I write. Everyone has their own style. If you want the Google Doc, where I also have links and a lot of references and stuff like that, it's in my Patreon. Should be under the same little name right down here, right? Yeah, right there. Tobi Mangaka, patreon.com/Tobi Mangaka. Um, yeah, I'm doing semi-daily streams where I straight up just work on my comic. I don't do them all the time, but I do them as often as I can. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you very much for watching the stream. Watching the streams. You guys rock. I would be nothing without my readers. I appreciate y'all. Check out Shoe and Metal Red and Sniper Mode on Medibang. Manga creators, Manga Plus creators. It's in maintenance right now. It's gonna be back up on the 18th of April. I'm gonna just upload this video as is. So thank you very much for watching. Love you guys.